What's up, y'all? How's it going? How's life? How's your fam? How's your friends? Stay warm. Holy moly. Um, we're doing it again. Little FCP update. Little midweek action. I was actually planning on doing this later because I was supposed to go to a talk by Huang Jie today, but I got off work late, and then I had to take the MRT back here, and it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But, you know, it is what it is. These things happen. Kind of sad. Because I would have been interested to hear her views. It was about nuclear power, at least in part, so can't get to all of them, unfortunately, but hopefully get to hear some people like that talk again soon. She will actually be mentioned a little later in our broadcast. What I would like to tell everybody is if you are listening on the audio podcast, as always, I'll remind you that you should go over to the YouTube and watch this because you will be able to read along with me on some of these articles. And if I can get enough people either watching the Twitch live or viewing the YouTube, I might just put my little happy little face on there. You can see me do some little soy boy emotes or something. But until then, I'll be doing it this way. And at least you can see the articles as I look at them. We can check them out together. And also we can, in this one, there will be a few videos. So even more of an impetus on you to go over and check out our YouTube. Hit that thumbs up, and ring the bell. So do that. And of course, we appreciate it. But getting back to the temperature and staying warm, holy moly, y'all. It's getting cold. This is just a little throwaway story that I thought I'd mention. We hit a cold front last night. I felt it come in. It was like nice yesterday. I was sitting at home. I ate dinner outside, as I always do. Did the same thing today. And I have a little walkway area in front of our house, which is nice because it's not a lot of Taiwanese spots have that. And yeah, I just like felt it rolling. Like the wind started to pick up and it was getting cold. And then by close to midnight when I went to sleep, it was just freezing. I'm talking 17 degrees, y'all. Which I always have to do this. I always have to do conversions. My guess is 17 is about 59 degrees. So let's see, 17 C to F. Let's check it. 62. It's not too far off. All right. So it's cold. It's cold. And I live like really close to the ocean. So that cold sea breeze blowing over. Oh, it was terrible. Okay. It's supposed to get down to 12. Yo. In Taoyuan and Yangmei. Shout out to Abby. She likes to pretend like she's from Yangmei sometimes. And yeah, in the north, it's going to be extra cold. Thankfully, down here, the lowest I saw was 17, maybe 16. So yeah, here we go. Highs of 20 and 22 are the forecast for central and southern Taiwan and Taidong, and of 23, 24 in Kaohsiung and Pingdong, baby. The best. Oh, this is Taidong. Sorry. But Kaohsiung, Pingdong, we keeping it warm down here. And maybe next week I might be in Shaliocha, so it'll probably be even warmer. So yeah, y'all. The south is where it's at. Anyway, stay warm if you're out here. And if you're listening from the U.S. or like Europe, God bless y'all. That's horrifying. All right, getting to some real news here. Well, I had to strike up the conversation, do the old talk about the weather bit. Fridge Assembly is thanked for backing Taiwan. Okay, so this was in one house of the French legislature, basically saying that the government should support Taiwan's international participation. It's good to hear. So this is they had the other side of the bill, I guess, or a mirror copy of it passed in the other house because they have a bicameral legislature. You can see it. So now they passed it in both. They had 39-2 votes. So that's pretty good. And then 3 abstentions. I don't know what they are for. This is not something I looked super deep into. But hey, look at that. 39-2. It's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so we got some more support. Speaking of support, we got a little bit more here, where we have Joseph Wu, who, as you can see, is our foreign minister, Taiwan. I mentioned this Honduras story earlier. They're saying that Taiwan is confident that regardless of who wins the Honduran election, that Honduras will maintain its diplomatic allegiance to Taiwan. I don't know exactly how they'll know that. I hope they're right, but he's basically saying that they will probably stick with us, even though, like I said, they have a candidate, Castro, that said that she might switch to diplomatic recognition of Beijing. Now, there could be something that where she kind of recognizes both, or I don't know. And to be fair, she has a pretty decent reason for trying to stick it to the U.S. If you remember the coup that they had not too long ago, where the democratically elected president was run out of the country in his pajamas, backed by Hillary Clinton, or at least tacitly supported by Hillary Clinton. Yeah, that may be a reason. They may see this as a way of kind of sticking it to the U.S. I'm not sure, but hopefully they do maintain their commitments diplomatically to Taiwan. So basically, Wu said that his ministry had in-depth conversations with the presidential candidates of both parties and their close aides. So, like I believe I had mentioned on when I did my last one on Monday, I believe that was, Castro had come out and made this statement, and then her party actually had come out afterwards and said, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're definitely going to switch. We don't know, kind of keeping this like ambiguous stance. So we'll see. But hopefully, I hope so. Like it says, if Honduras switches, Taiwan will be left with 14 diplomatic allies, which is so few. And super recently, not too bad, but and actually kind of going up, like we're talking about with some of these not technically diplomatic allies, but allies especially in Europe, in the EU, like the 3 Baltic states that are currently here are starting to support Taiwan at least a little bit. We'll see if that maintains itself, or if it ramps up, or if after some time it kind of backs off. Hopefully, it will be ramping up, but we will see. But more of the same. The 2 members of the Belize Parliament are visiting Taiwan, so they will be joining the Baltic states leaders that have arrived here for this open Parliament forum. Okay, so this starts tomorrow. Currently is December the 1st in Taiwan. It is 7:48 p.m. as we are talking right now. So they will all be going there, and they'll be talking about a number of things. So you can see here, it says the forum themed Open Parliament in a Post-COVID Context, Global Examples of Resilience and Planning for 2022 and Beyond. So I heard they would be talking about basically defense, and probably a number of other things, honestly, like how to work together, how to support each other in terms of against China, but also in terms of supply chains, etc. I don't know for a fact. I won't be there. I didn't get my invitation, unfortunately, probably lost in the mail. But hey, at least they're having it. At least we got some people from different parts of the world that seem like they're trying to help out Taiwan. Speaking of supporting Taiwan, we got Abe Shinzo, my dude. No. I don't want to sign in. What if I do this and then go right back? Oh, man. Okay, so Abe said, I'm not going to be able to read this one. What is this? Why are you going to create a free membership? I hate this stuff. We don't do this on the website, okay? Be thankful we don't do this. This is outrageous. Japan Times is a good website, but I'm not going to create an account right now, and I would like to read this. Anyway, Japan former PM basically said that he will come visit Taiwan soon. Not exactly sure. He said he's going to do some consultations about when the best time for that would be. He said basically that ostensibly it would be to come to Taiwan to honor the late great. What is that? There's like a dog fight outside my house right now. Hold on. I gotta make sure this is just a dog. It sounded like someone screaming. Okay, sorry, that was weird. But anyway, yeah, he said he's currently consulting on who he will or when he will come. But he said his visit was basically to honor Li Denghui, saying that Li gave him some good advice. They talked a lot. And that he made. I was watching an interview or reporters interviewing him, and he made an interesting statement. He said, Japan and Taiwan have been friends since time immemorial, which I don't know if that's true, but I mean, to be fair, I guess Taiwan was like kind of like the model colony for Japan, but like when you colonize someone, I don't know if you can say like we've been friends since time immemorial. Like, I don't know. That's a rough one. But anyway, he was really good for Taiwan. Generally speaking, when he was prime minister, he was very strong on Taiwan and took some pretty hard lines on China and Chinese aggression. So that was what that article kind of was talking about, was that he was saying that if there was an invasion, a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, it would be disastrous for the world, basically. He said basically it would mean that, he said probably he believes that the U.S. and Japan would probably go to war with China over Taiwan, but basically even if they didn't, that it would be disastrous. And I think Ari and I both believe that if China does do an invasion of a successful, especially invasion of Taiwan, then probably South Korea and Japan instantly start their nuclear programs and go nuclear. Not like they're launching them, but obviously like they would have them basically as a deterrence, mutually assured destruction and such. But yeah, so he should be visiting in the next couple months here, so that's good. It shows that at least there seems to be still, and the current prime minister actually as well seems to be taking a pretty hard line towards China and a positive one towards Taiwan, but he's obviously only been in there a very short time. So we'll see what happens with that. And then, of course, the obligatory China lashes out at Abe. So they got to go hard on old Abe. So let's see. Chinese Foreign Minister spokesman Wang Wenbin said Abe talked nonsense, pointed fingers at Taiwan issues, and made irresponsible remarks on China internal affairs, which is what they always say. But they will criticize everything else. Now, if the U.S. has problems, and they do, they have a lot of them, and sometimes China calls them out, and they're right about it. But that is okay. But if the U.S. calls out human rights violations in China, oh, that's Chinese internal affairs, and you need to be quiet, okay? He also says that China strongly opposes and deplores this, and has protested Japan through diplomatic channels, which usually means they just scream on Twitter. I'm sure they reached out to the, through diplomatic channels as well, but they usually scream on Twitter, which is illegal in their country, which is always funny. He says, no one should underestimate the resolve, determination, firm will, and strong ability of the Chinese people to defend national sovereignty. No one's calling for an invasion of China, so chill, dude. No one cares. And territorial integrity. Again, Taiwan has never been part of the PRC, so nonsense. This is nonsense. Wynn told reporters at a daily briefing, anyone who dares to repeat militarism in China... hold on. The only people, again, calling for any sort of military action, besides a defense of Taiwan, who's an ally of these countries... if they're attacked. The only person calling for offensive military attacks is China here. China is the only one that said, we will do an offensive military invasion of an island that's never belonged to our country. Of course, they would say it's part of our country because territorial claims going back 5,000 years are part of our country, even though it wasn't the same country and whatever. Nonsense is what I'm saying. So when you see things like this, you should laugh, and you should laugh at them on Twitter. Anyone who dares to repeat militarism and challenge the bottom line of the Chinese people will surely be shattered in the face. There's always, like, oh, you're doing militarism. You are messing with our internal sovereignty. You are so aggressive. We will shatter your face. I love these statements. There's, all of these. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, you can see that Abe's not too slight either. He says military venture would lead to economic suicide, basically saying that, Chinese invading would destroy the economy as we were know it. I'm not a huge, big, let's fap around the economy guy. I don't think it affects normal people that much. But certainly it would. I mean, you can see the thing I mentioned the other day about Italy now kind of coming hat in hand to Taiwan and saying, like, we're really sorry that we shut down plane flights to us. Can you please give us some trips? Please. Okay. It's because, especially in the times that we are right now, where we have limited chip supplies and a huge problem with international supply chains, Taiwan's chips are, first of all, they control 60% of the market, and they also have the best chips on the market. So it's like, fuck out of here. It's just so yeah. My point being that it's going to be a big problem. If you simply only care about the economy, it's also going to destroy the world economy. Not to mention the fact that it will kill millions of innocent civilians, myself included. I will probably be dead if they do an invasion. So yeah, it's also just wrong. I mean, you shouldn't invade sovereign countries. Sorry, China, get bent. All right, so. Moving to Taiwan and some things that Taiwan needs to get a grip on. I talked about construction workers and migrant workers the other day and how it's pretty rough for them when they deal with things like injuries on the job is what we specifically talked about. But a number of things I also mentioned that some home care workers have been basically detained without reason by the police. So here we have migrant fishermen, which is another big group of migrant workers. So the head, we have the control yuan, President Chen Ju, who used to be the mayor of Kaohsiung and was huge in the creation of the DPP, but also in the Dongwai movement. So this is Chen Ju up here. She was speaking also as the head of the National Human Rights Commission, saying that basically this fisherman issue is probably their biggest thing that they need to grapple with. I don't know the exact numbers for home care workers and factory workers, but those are also huge. That's the thing. So, for fishing, we have distant water fishing with about 20,000 migrant fishermen. They're mostly from Indonesia and the Philippines, and then 10,000 migrant fishermen employed in the coastal and offshore fishing. Another thing, actually, that I didn't see mentioned here is that it's not just fishing where they work on boats. Taking the ferries a lot of time. I've noticed a number of migrant workers on the ferries that shuttle people from island to island. So they're in a number of places, but I think it is in these fishing vessels where they deal with the most abuse. Obviously, you're out sometimes in international waters, but even if you're in territorial waters, you're far, far away from the next people that are likely to see and report anything. So, and like we mentioned in the last time, if you complain, they can basically just get you deported in a lot of cases. So you don't really have any recourse. Okay, so, like it says, in recent years, multiple groups have pointed out that migrant fishermen are being exploited by Taiwanese owners of the vessels. Lack of protection is a big issue. Okay, also there have been issues of forced labor, and even if you are a monster and don't care about the human rights of these people, there's also been issues with them bringing in people illegally and potential COVID infections that way. So Chunju continued on and said that they had formed a task force in February to further investigate 6 major cases involving the rights of migrant fishermen. 6 major cases still sounds way too small, but I don't know the scope of exactly all of these. So hopefully it will continue to grow and they will continue to take it increasingly seriously, because it's not it doesn't seem to be have been fixed or been dealt with at a systematic level. Okay. Also, we have just the lack of recognition of like the value of labor. So on issues of salaries, task force members Wang Yudin said that in Taiwan, the minimum wage for migrant fishermen on deep water fishing vessels was only $450, nearly half of the 25,250 minimum for workers covered under labor standard. This is monthly, by the way, which migrant fishermen are not currently covered by. Why are you not giving these people minimum wages? Here's the other thing. Even if you're like a vehement nationalist, it doesn't make sense to make these people's wages this low. If you think that these jobs should be going to Taiwanese people, then make them pay these migrant workers a living wage, and then maybe some more Taiwanese people will take the jobs. I don't know if that's true. They may not, because they're still hard freaking jobs. Like it's not an easy job to be a deep water fisherman. But yeah, it should be covered. I don't think I should have to say that. Pay people a living fucking wage. Like this 25,000 is a living wage, but not everywhere. Not in Taipei. I would say. It's pretty close to not. Now, you probably don't have a lot of fishermen living in Taipei, but you know what I'm saying is the wage needs to go up. Everyone's getting a pay cut every year because they don't raise the. I guess Taiwan has been raising the wage. Her government at least has been raising the wage almost every year. So to be fair, they're doing an okay job, but I would still argue it's still not enough, and sometimes the pay raises aren't keeping up with inflation. So I would say raise it quite a bit and tie it to inflation, so you don't have to just raise it every year. Just my personal opinion. Okay, so yeah, lots of issues with this. Hopefully they keep pushing for it. It's good to see that they're at least investigating some of these exploitation cases and employee worker disputes. Hopefully they do side with the they investigate them. Let's just say that they investigate them thoroughly and don't side with the owners. They actually investigate them. Okay. Next on the list here, we have the Golden Horse Awards. So there's a lot of stuff happening with them. There's a lot of interesting movies, Taiwanese movies that I want to watch. There was one with an artist. I forget the title of it, but there was one with an older artist, like a 60-year-old artist, that they brought in that looked pretty interesting. But one of the big things, and something that I try to periodically remind everyone not to forget about, is Hong Kongers. So there was a movie, a documentary film by Kiwi Cho, and it won the top prize for a documentary feature. Okay, so it's called Revolution of Our Times, which is part of the slogan that you often hear, which is now basically an illegal saying now. If you say it, it's you will basically be arrested. People have been detained for it, so it's pretty crazy. But this is obviously, it started like it says here. It follows protesters fighting a controversial extradition bill. So that was the bill that would allow extradition to China. And basically it says it belongs to every Hong Konger who has a conscience and a sense of justice and has shed tears for Hong Kong. So yeah, you should definitely watch this film. I plan to, when I can find a way that I can play it. It's a 2-hour and 32-minute documentary. So yeah, it's we actually attended these. Ari and Abby and I went to these protests. it was the day we went was actually peaceful, surprisingly. But it was incredible. There's 2 million Hong Kongers out walking in the streets. We for a while up on the YouTube we had some interviews that we did, but we need to, after they've now passed this national security law, we took them down because some of them have faces in them. So I mean, I would obviously like to get permission from those people, but lacking that, I might just put them up and either block the video totally or block out faces. I'm still kind of wondering about what I should do, because I don't know. Even if we like black out the whole video, I'm still worried about like, oh, someone gets there, like does voice recognition. I think that's probably a little bit of a stretch, but I don't know. I don't want to be the reason that like anyone gets arrested on some BS. So I have this queued up. Actually, we can watch this parts of this trailer real quick.
原先期望可以喺1997年一回歸嘅時候就已經有一個民主嘅選舉制度全面嘅實施。咁但係咧，中共官員就係唔得啊，冇咁快啊咁樣。香港實行唔到民主化咧，冇可能維持到香港嘅自由同法治嘅。其實我只係爭取一樣嘢啫，就係自由。
So if you're not watching the video, which you should be, basically they're showing videos of the city, of the protests, and they're saying one of the speakers was saying that Hong Kong, it's impossible for Hong Kong. They were talking about the handover from the UK to China, and then they're saying that another speaker was saying Hong Kong can't be democratized. The one thing that this person was fighting for is for freedom.
咁文明嘅地方可以發生啲咁野蠻嘅管治。長運動非實。佢哋唔會知我嘅名嘅。
So now we're seeing people basically being blocked out. This looks like the day that we were there, actually. Yeah, I'm getting like goosebumps looking at this. Basically there we see like the classic black bloc that a lot of these people rock. They're probably going to be putting out some tear gas with that bag of water. But black blocked up, they got their umbrellas like you normally see. There for the interviews also there are people like that have their faces totally blocked out. So he said what do you say? Everybody is no one and no one is everyone. Everybody is a nobody, nobody is everyone. Yeah, they're just showing how like amazingly coordinated these people were. Basically using like encrypted messaging apps like Telegram to communicate, and then they would have like these maps. They actually set up an app for a while that eventually got deleted from the App Store, where they would like show where the police were. So they would basically try to keep people from getting incarcerated, because I mean, I've had people on the show from Hong Kong that were arrested in these protests before, and they basically just get detained for a long time. And some of them go to prison, or, I mean, you could theoretically, depending on how bad you were, get arrested for a long, long time. Get put in jail, I should say, for a long, long time. So they were, they're obviously not trying to get, I mean, and some people were killed by the cops. Let's be clear. It wasn't just that it was like you get brutalized and arrested and maybe spend some time in jail. It's that you could get murdered by the cops or some of the gangsters that they work with. So they're talking about how they have drivers, and now they're showing some like the elderly people that joined the protest, which there's a lot of elderly people that were in the protest as well. And you can see them now getting brutalized by the police. You have the famous, this back here, this is like a famous attack that the police did on a train station. Just like families, like little children crying as they're, people are getting beat by the police on a MRT. And just lots of videos of cops just beating the crap out of people. And then here, this is the famous attack that happened in an MRT station. They basically broke in, these guys in like all white shirts, and just attacked a bunch of like random people, and the police basically let it happen. They most likely knew about it and probably even encouraged it. Jesus. I've seen videos of people that lost eyes, bloody, getting dragged unconscious, getting their heads stamped on. This lady's... I'm going to get choked up watching this. This lady's saying she doesn't want it to be another Tiananmen Square. There's a video there of like a student getting shot, and this guy's saying he's wearing a bulletproof vest because he doesn't want to get shot. This kid's like talking about how he lies to his parents. He's, man. Oh man. Man, this got me. I was not expecting this to get me so bad. That kid is saying that he tells his parents that he's going to play basketball. And then he's been shot. Wow.
佢哋覺得抗爭先實現到自由。當我決定走出去嗰刻，我已經撇除晒其他嘅身份，就我作為一個學生，作為我阿爸阿媽嘅仔，我嘅身份就只有即使用條命都要行出去嘅抗爭者。時代革命其實唔單止係香港嘅時代革命。香港應該係要被視為世界嘅香港，國際嘅香港，自由世界前沿，抵抗極權嘅香港。
Yeah, they're saying that, this isn't just for Hong Kong. This is fighting, totalitarianism in the world. Oh my goodness. All right, well, yeah, I gotta watch that, and feel like I need to bring some tissues. Holy moly, man! I was not expecting to cry during that. All right, folks. Here's another sad story. That we're going to continue on is that so go watch that movie first of all. We'll find a place where we can pay for it, so we can compensate the director for his work, and all the people obviously that worked on it. But number one, also, just don't forget about Hong Kong. Like, I mean, you may never think it's going to get out from under the boot of China. Whether that's true or not, the lives of the people there certainly aren't going to get better because you forget about them. One of the last things that they have left, and I've been told by Hong Kongers there, is, basically that like the last hope they have is that they just don't want the world to forget about them. So please don't, yeah. So yeah, go watch that film and I don't know, just support. I mean, just be, if you do whatever you can to support Hong Kongers. If you know any, there's a lot of them leaving Hong Kong. So if you, wherever you are in the world, if you see one, befriend them, or or whatever, whatever you can do to offer support. Don't be a weirdo, but offer support where you can. Yeah, it's tough. But also be careful. I mean, don't, people that are still in Hong Kong, don't be putting them in harm's way and stuff. You got to be smart about it. All right. So yeah, like I said, like another pretty messed up story that has some positive developments, but is still not like a super happy story, and like also shows a lot of the issues that we have still to deal with in Hong Kong is that there was a DPP lawmaker in Taipei, Gao Jiayu, and she basically came out and she had filed domestic abuse charges against her partner, her boyfriend. So this was in Banqiao, and I won't get into like some of the political things that whatever I disagree with her on. The main thing is that she's a legislator, and she claimed that there was abuse, and she said, it says here that Jiayu will bravely face the matter in hopes of preventing another victim. This was in, I believe, from her office. They put out this statement. Okay. So yeah, she alleged that she was beaten. And it says that he seized her phone and kept her in a hotel for 2 days. And then after she went and sought medical attention for her injuries. There were bruises on her neck, wrist, and hands. And yeah, some people have spoken out and given basically offered support and condemned the violence. There have also been people that have made horrible jokes about it. I saw there was KMT politicians basically saying that she deserved it, kind of trying to make a joke out of it, which is sickening. I guess anyone that is in Taiwan for domestic abuse, you can call 113. That's the Children and Women Protection Hotline, or you can call 110, which is, just the basic emergency number. I will say, having called the cops on or been in like groups where we have like heard what we thought was domestic violence going on, where we used to live in the north. When I lived in the dorms, there was people that were like, well, there's something messed up going on. And we like all went outside, and there was like a woman screaming, and we called the police, and they came and they were like, oh, there's nothing we can do. And yeah, so Taiwan still has a pretty bad problem. I mean, a lot of countries do, right? I mean, the U.S. Obviously does as well. Those are the two that I can speak for personally, at least. But yeah, this is still a huge problem, and it's good to see people speaking out, and hopefully that justice is served in this and is meted out correctly. So we'll see. Hopefully this alleged domestic violence gets addressed. Part of it is that that seems good, or at least promising, is that the suspected abuser has been arrested. So hopefully now the police and the prosecutors can get to the bottom of this and see what happened. And we'll see. But yeah, people that are like joking about this, making fun of it, obviously need to be called out. It's disgusting. But yeah, I hope that we can deal with these issues like all around the world. Like I said, I mean, I don't have much like in the way of offering anything except for condolences and support for victims of abuse. Yeah. So yeah, this is a little bit about her. I'll include it, but there's not much that I need to say. But yeah, she's one of the representatives from Nangang and Nehu. This is not super relevant to this story though. But so yeah, I can include it in the notes. She was also involved in this. So there was this like deep fake adult video stuff. Her and Huang Jie, the legislator, this is city councilor that I was supposed to go see tonight. They were involved in like these deep fake videos created by Xiao Yu, this YouTuber, and he made like a ton of money off of it. So they're calling for this is Gao Jiayu, and they're basically calling for and Huang Jie is over here. They're calling for basically laws basically outlawing this kind of stuff, which creates a lot of obviously, like there was a quote in here that I saw from Huang Jie that this public figures should not be humiliated in any such way. I think, and I don't know what the translation is here. I don't know what she exactly said. And I tend to agree that, you shouldn't make deep, but I don't think it should be done to anyone. And I do think in some cases, we should humiliate public figures. Obviously not like this. This is not the way to go about it. Even if you think that it should be legal, it's not the way to get your message across. There was just, obviously it wasn't as sexual in nature, but we had the issue recently with, I don't want to say the wrong person. I forgot who it was, but it was against AOC. It was what was it? Attack on Titan. So there was Paul Gozer, that's who it was. So Gozer basically retweeted a video of that someone had made where he was had his face superimposed on one of the Attack on Titan characters, just basically murdering a bunch of like the squad members, AOC being like the prominent one. I didn't see the video because obviously they took it down, but I don't think you should make videos like that. The legality stuff we can go into long form when Ari and I are both on here. I would like to hear different perspectives on it. I'm not sure if I think that it should be illegal. Now, for elected representatives, you should probably be censured, not censored. You should be censured, and maybe lose some of your committees, maybe lose your office, honestly. I think you should be held to a higher standard. Should you go to jail for making a video like that without like an actual threat? That I don't think so necessarily. But again, I would like to hear other people's points of view. But I think just in general, it's not useful as a kid. You look like an idiot. You look petty. You kind of look like a child. And you lose any sort of moral high ground. Now, I don't think some 2-bit YouTuber is... that's what his goal was. His goal was to probably make money, which again he did. So maybe in that case a fine. You can see he made about 11 million NT, which is about 400,000 US dollars selling these deep fake videos. So yeah, that's just another side point. But yeah, it's a complicated thing. Obviously wrong to make the video, I would argue. I don't think that is too controversial, but I don't know. Again, I would like to hear y'all's, if you guys have opinions on it. Ari and I'll probably also discuss it long form. If I remember next time we do a podcast, and he's back in town, so he's doing class right now, but hopefully we'll have an actual podcast soon. All right, so here's another sad story. Sorry to rack up like sad story after sad story here, but there was a Chinese photography blogger that was just recently found dead in China when he days after he turned 25. And his last Weibo post was basically saying that he'd been constantly bullied at school due to his alleged effeminate behavior. And as you guys should know, like there's a big crackdown on like effeminate men, sissy boys, and stuff. They're all using all these different language, and this is the result. I mean, people are going to pick on people for all kinds of reasons. Obviously, depending on what kind of like effeminate characteristics, it might be outside of the norm. Kids are always going to pick on people. I don't know exactly if he's 25. I imagine he was being bullied in university as well, which is a little bit more strange, which points me to believe that this is probably more of this culture war that they're inflaming in China. But I'm not sure. I would like to hear more information about it. But yeah, when you're pushing an anti-effeminate men campaign, there are going to be some people that get pushed into killing themselves, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. So I don't know. Rest in peace to this person, and it's just really sad. Basically, his last Weibo post said, I'm going to get choked up again because I'm already in there. No need to build a monument for him. Just hope that every year roses will bloom for him. So yeah, this was, it automatically translated this, I think, but yeah, it's just sad. Like I said, rest in peace. It's heartbreaking. All right, let's move to some maybe more angering news rather than like stuff that's gonna break me up. All right, we got Tucker Carlson, we got Enes Kanter. So Enes Kanter, for y'all that don't know, he is a basketball player for the Boston Celtics. I believe he's a center. He's recently been doing a lot of shoes. He's been a big shoe boy. Let's see, shoes. Now, I've talked about this probably a couple weeks ago. I mentioned Badi Otal, who made his shoes. Some people don't like Badi Otal. I like his art for the most part. He's sometimes heavy-handed, but hey, I don't know. It's interesting, and artists are always. He's kind of annoying on Twitter. No offense. I'm sure some people think I'm annoying on Twitter. It is what it is. But these are his shoes. I know people that like them. I'm mostly ambivalent. I think that he could go a lot harder. In terms of like his activism, I understand. See, I get both sides of this. So, Obviously, I've seen a lot of people supporting it on Twitter. I have a lot of friends that have argued with me, basically saying I should support it more. I forget what the... I know... here. I'll include this. So this is an interesting piece, I thought, from Brian Hill. I hope I'm pronouncing it. I learned how to pronounce Brian's name at one point because I don't anyway. I believe he pronounced it like in Taiwanese, and my Taiwanese is non-existent. And yeah, so anyway, but Brian's a really great journalist, is what I'll say. And speaking of anyway, suffice to say, he's a good journalist, and I don't all agree with him on 100% of everything, but who do I agree with on 100% of everything? Nothing. No one. But this is an interesting article, and I tend to agree with him on a lot of these points. Basically that his campaign is a little bit heavy-handed and kind of leaves a little bit to be desired. Anyway, I'll let you read it, and you can decide for yourself whether you agree with it or not. If you do or don't, that's fine. Just come discuss it with me in the Twitter chat or in the comments here. That's fine. I think it's important to have these sorts of discussions. But I'll put that voice out there because there's a lot of people all over the internet just like loving these shoes and talking about how great they are. And yeah, I don't know. I get it. If you like it, like I said, I have a friend who I've been going back and forth with on social media. And we agree on a lot of things, but this is not necessarily one of them. I was kind of hard on him, and he actually agreed with what I'm about to talk about that I thought was kind of whack from him. But you can see, I think I showed these on a past stream, but he's got like the, no Beijing 2022, which I totally agree with. I honestly I don't know if we should even move the games. We should just cancel them totally. Here he's got the East Turkestan flag, Tibetan flag, Taiwanese independence flag, Hong Kong flag. I actually can't see what this one is. Cool. I'm not exactly sure what this one is. It's too blurred out. But anyway, so he's got a lot of them. No slave labor because Nike uses slave labor, as like a lot of companies do, honestly. Stop organ harvesting in China. Free Tibet. Blah blah blah. He called out LeBron James recently. Obviously, there's like this, and I think there's something to be said about calling out LeBron James on his China non-stance, basically, and these people that came out and like talked about how much they love the Chinese market. Now, I agree. You can say you love the Chinese people, but I think you should be honest and say that the Chinese government is dog shit. I mean, I already cursed. I was going to try not to curse today. They're terrible. They're awful. So, yeah. So you should also call that out. But Enes, being ever heavy-handed, went on Tucker Carlson, which is, I think, what a lot of people were afraid of.
Turkey came to this country
And,
wound up in the
yeah.
NBA. Just a few hours
Here's
ago,
what you
he
have.
became an American citizen.
So-
to mark the occasion,
Yeah, he became an American citizen recently, so congrats to him. I mean,
he has
it's a
legally
tough, not an
changed
easy
his
thing to do.
name. His new name is Enes Kanter Freedom. Enes Kanter.
This is another like kind of emblematic of his publicity stunts, I feel. Changing your name to Freedom. But again, like, do whatever you want. That's fine. But it's kind of like Ron Artest changing his name to Meta World Peace, or to what he called it. He changed his name to like Panda or something when he moved to China to play. I don't know. It seems quite performative.
Freedom plays for the Boston Celtics, and he joins us tonight. Enes, Mr. Freedom, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on becoming a citizen. Tell us why you've done this, why you've become a citizen and changed your name.
Thanks for having me, Mr. Carlson. You know, I think I can just easily say that this is the greatest day in my life. You know, it was my dream the first day I stepped into America. And, you know, after I get my green card, obviously it's been a rough 6 years because Turkish government revoked my passport and put my name on Interpol list. But I think, you know, I wanted to do it because...
Okay, so that is something. I think I dropped the internet. So if you're watching the stream, I don't know what's going on right now with my internet. But yeah, he did lose basically his like he said, like, you know, they revoked his passport in Turkey because he spoke out against the Erdogan government. And he, you know, wasn't allowed to go back. He was put on an Interpol list. So yeah, that's really bad. That's super, super bad. So he has a history of activism in these cases, and it seems more in depth in Turkey. I don't know the full thing, and I think he's also a Gulenist, and that brings up a whole another bunch of issues. And then also, he seems very unapologetically supportive of Israel, which also brings its you know, a number of questions like, do the Palestinian people have a right to freedom, and what does that entail? Anyway, yeah, like I said, it's complicated, and it makes me wonder, where's the love for, you know, certain people, and also why do we need to be heavy-handed like this? But what I'm not going to be able to show you right now, because something wrong with my internet today, unless I can get it to reconnect real quick, is that, and unfortunately, sorry to everyone who was in the chat, in the Twitch chat, this is just, it's been a day. It's been a whole day of just nonsense today. It seems like my hotspot is like dying out. But yeah, what I was going to say is that it seems like he could do a lot more to have a more robust thing. But anyway, he is, in some ways, you could argue, maybe pushing the conversation forward. That's good, okay? I think that's hopefully important, but it would be nice if we could have a more nuanced discussion. Anyway, I'm not here to tone police or whatever. It's just maybe not my cup of tea. That being said, in this video, which I can no longer show you because it didn't load fully, and now there's literally like no internet going on here, is that he goes on to say basically that basically people people should just shut up and not protest. They should be happy to live in America. They should be thankful that they live in a free country and, shut up and enjoy it. They should stop protesting, basically, is what he says. Again, I would like to show you the exact verbiage that he used, but I can't because the internet just dumped on me. Anywho's, I thought that was a relatively minor point because I don't see him as like a leading voice or anything, but it is frustrating to watch people make these heroes. As I've always said, no heroes, don't have political heroes. You can like something someone does, but don't deify people. Because I saw people basically talking about how this guy's shit doesn't stink, and then he comes out and says something like this, and now a lot of people are like, wow, that was pretty stupid to say, wasn't it, bub? And yeah, so that's kind of what happens sometimes, right? So hopefully we can all learn a lesson from that. And I'm not like about being on a high horse or anything, because I've made that mistake very recently with like trying to have political heroes or taking people always at their word, and then someone comes out and just says some dumb stuff. It's sad. I'll see if I can get this working by the end of this video, but we're about done here. The last thing I wanted to end it on another, like, you can be a little mad, but for the most part, it's not too big of a deal. Story. I can't remember if I talked about this before, but I've definitely talked about it on something. But Taoyuan Airport is starting to use a facial recognition software. They're talking about only doing it basically for 2 gates currently. But what they're doing apparently is going through is that you'll basically scan your documents at the very beginning, do a facial recognition scan that'll take like a couple seconds, like they said 3 seconds here, and then you'll basically be able to move all the way through the airport until you get to your terminal. And they're saying that it's going to be basically like automatically delete all your user data like 30 minutes or something like that after you take off and leave on your flight. But I don't know. I'm always real sketchy about any sort of biometric scanning, facial recognition software, especially when it's like private companies that are in control of it. So I believe the 2 that are doing it are China Air and Eva Air. And I always have to remind people, China Air is actually not a Chinese company. China Air is a Taiwanese company. So anyway, it's interesting. It sure looks like, ladies and gents, that my internet is just done. I just need to like do an update and restart my computer or something. So that kind of sucks. But anyway, I'll definitely include the video in the description box so you can go watch it yourself. Formulate your opinions. Come talk to me next time, or drop your comments down below in the video. But maybe I'll talk about it a little on the next one, and then Ari and I will also probably talk about it on the next podcast we do. So feel free to join in whichever one of those you would like to. Okay, so I'll get out of here. I'll stop chatting your all's ear off. I know every time I'm like, this is going to be like a 15-minute little quick update, and then it ends up being like this big, long thing. So what we got here, restart my phone. Cool. It just opened up my, like, oh yeah, nice. So I had, it was supposed to open up we can play this game real quick. It was supposed to open up just like FCP there so I could show you the website. Anyway, go visit the website, FreeChinaPost.com. And you can, check out our articles, all the podcasts, everything's up there. We got some interesting stuff on boycotts, but also a few things some history, rough history timelines, and an almanac of Taiwanese politics, so you can learn a little bit about how the Taiwanese political system works, which is actually quite useful. Even sometimes when I'm trying to explain it to people, I'll look at it because gives you like a little bit of an idea of how it works in case you forget, which is, every once in a while we forget. I mean, I do it constantly with stuff I write on the site. I'll write like 2 or 3 articles, and then I'll be like, oh, what was this detail that I can't remember now? And I'll just look it up on the site, and there it is. It's an easy way to do it, and you can just share it with someone. Yeah, I'm looking at this Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is fudged right now. It's like not doing anything. The last thing I'll tell you all to do, go over here, patreon.com. That's patreon.com/FreeChinaPost. And you can join. You can join our little squad, okay? For as little as $3 a month. You can get on there. You'll get into our Discord. If you don't want to be in the Discord, we won't add you. That's fine too. Don't worry about that. And then you can also, for $5, you get a postcard from Aria and I. Like I said, I'm getting those postcards now. I went to go pick up pictures today, and they say I have to come back tomorrow. So that kind of sucks. But hey, yeah, and the list goes on. There's a lot of them down here, okay? You can get T-shirts, propaganda posters, propaganda ministers. You get a bunch of propaganda posters, blah, 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 all kinds of cool stuff. But, if you just got a couple bucks, just throw us this. If not, go to FreeChinaPost.com. You hopefully will have internet, so you won't have to do this. And then you can come talk to us, and you can just get rid of your ad blocker, and then you can, help us out actually quite a bit. Just taking off the ad blocker, and then if you see any advertisements that suit your fancy, well, daggum partner, you're like a dinosaur in the desert jumping over cacti. You are helping us out a ton. And I'm gonna stop doing this because I gotta click out of this so I can end this video. But we love you, or at least I do. I don't know if Ari does because he never comes on the podcast anymore. Just kidding. All right, but we do love you guys. I'll talk to you very soon, and I'll hopefully be making more videos like this where the internet doesn't just drop out in the middle and screw up my whole plan. But we'll talk to you soon. Love you guys. FCP最大